Good evening. I'm coming to you live from Lenasia South, Extension 2, where the community of this area for the past 5 years or more have seen their suburb literally being engulfed by an array of illegal land, and putting on their shacks and making sure that their community as a whole has been in distress for quite a long time. There have been illegal land invasions for about 5 years or so. It has affected them in numerous ways. Some of them ways that they've mentioned that they've been affected include issues such as crime, issues such as utilities, and this is a pressing issue as the country on its own. We are heading into the local elections where issues such as this, issues such as land invasions, issues such as utilities, water, and roads are going to be of concern. We're here today. We're going to be chatting to a few of those residents of Lenasia South, Station 2 particularly, and they'll be painting for us a picture of how their community has been affected by illegal land grabbing and an influx of shacks, and majority of the land that's been surrounding their area for so many years has now been occupied. I'll be chatting first to Mr. Melvin Kenneby. He's part of the CPF here in Lenasia Extension 2, and he'll be just briefly, painting a picture for us of when did the illegal land grabbings start, and so far how has the community as a whole been affected. Good evening, Melvin. How are you?
Thanks.
I'm great. So, if you can, just paint a picture for us, from the beginning when you started seeing, the land and the shacks mushrooming, and how it affected you guys as a community.
Okay, basically the land grabbing issue has started in 2015, and it's started basically affecting us every time we riot and stuff. When we complained about it, we run into deaf ears. We
So,
tried speaking to the councillors. We tried our utmost best. In the last 6 years, it's really gone bad.
if you could maybe just give us some of the specific areas where it started, and as close it gets, and how it's been affecting the community as a whole.
Okay, in the last 6 years, it's been starting at Narans Farm together with Mariteng, as well as Finetown, Fontaine. That's the areas that just started popping up. Within a year, they've covered ground like a kilometer and a half.
And have you guys tried, to make contact with the local councillor, the municipality, and how's the response from those parties?
Okay, we've tried making contact numerous occasions to our local councillor, Ward 120 councillor. We haven't get any joy from her. The only person we've got helping us at the moment is Ward 7 councillor, which is in charge of Mariteng. She's trying to assist us at the best that she can do. Ward 121 councillor, also we can't get hold of her. There's no response from them. Basically, we just need somebody in the government there to assist us. We're running out of options.
You've been here for about 18 years, if I'm not mistaken. What has been the modus operandi? I'm sure you've seen it all. How does it start, and ultimately how did it get as far as it got here?
Okay, we've got guys that's selling the plots to them. They're even zoning it, zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. We even heard of prices from 7,000 rand upwards.
Do you guys even have an idea who's selling the plots?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. We don't have an idea at the moment, but we are working on it.
So you're saying they are zoning it, and then what happens after that?
They have been told to go make a deposit, come with a deposit slip. They'll be allocated land. They put up a shack. Within 6 months, they got to build with bricks. That's what we've heard.
And then, did you have any interaction with the residents of the various plots of land that have been invaded? Have you tried to talk to them, and what has the response been from them?
No, I haven't made contact with anybody on that side where they're grabbing the land. See, like the side on Mariteng where they're grabbing the land, that is wetlands. It's not permittable to build on that land, because when it rains, You've got water flowing like a river there.
Personally, as someone who's been a resident here for about 18 years, how has it affected you, personally seeing an area that you know and love so much just change so drastically over the years?
You see, we've got the crime rate is sky high. We've got people jumping in yards at night. We've got electricity being stolen from the boxes. Uh, our property value have deteriorated to less than half. Even if you go for a bond to buy a house here, you got to fork out half the amount of that property before you get the bond.
And we are leading to local elections now. Has there been visits from the local council, any recent meetings that you've had with them, or it has been silent for the past whatever time that you guys have been raising the concern?
No, we haven't had any meetings with any councillors so far. And in all these years, we haven't had joy that came out of us trying as a community to try and eliminate this land grabbing issue.
And what would you like to see happen? If you could get a message from, if you can give a message to the relevant authorities, whether it's the municipality, the council, or provincial government. What would you like them to do for you guys here in Lenasia South?
Basically, I would like for them to stop giving us false promises. Because since last Friday, tomorrow will be 1 week. We're waiting for a grader with JMPD to remove the empty properties. Because they say the properties have got tenants or people that's living in it. They need a court order. Last year we had red ants that came out at the back here at Lakeview. Some shacks were destroyed by the red ants. They were taken away. In the next week, they were up again. So basically, I just like to see if the government can assist us with the red ants, with court orders, just to demolish these places.
Won't that be harder going forward? Because we took a drive, as we were scouting the area. There are some people now that have put in houses now. There are permanent structures, and there seems to be electricity and all of that. Do you think it's going to be increasingly hard for people to move?
It's definitely, because a court order takes a while. So by the time they get a court order out, it's going to take 2 to 3 years, even longer. It is going to be very difficult for them to move.
And you don't, by any chance, if all of your efforts go up in vain, you don't see yourselves trying to live side by side with these people?
It's never going to work, because when they riot, we can't go to work, because all our entrance and exits are blocked. So we're stuck at home. We cannot leave. Our vehicles get stoned. So that's our main problem.
No, thank you so much. That's basically the foundation of it all. That's the picture there that Melvin has drawn up for us. But we're going to continue. We're going to be speaking to a few more residents, just to get word on how all of this has been affecting them. I'm going to be chatting to a gentleman by the name of Sammy Moabi. He's also part of the community CPF. If we can get hold of him, he's also going to briefly chat to us. He's been staying in the area also for some time, and he's going to paint a picture for us. How has this also affected him? The different aspects of having land around you, being occupied illegally, and how it has been affecting some of the amenities that the people enjoy here. There've been a lot of complaints about electricity. There are complaints about sometimes the people who have occupied the land around Lenasia South, when they start protesting and start demanding resources from government, they are closed in. Roads are shut, and if they try to move in and out of the their cars would be stoned. So I'm going to be chatting to Ndadesem here. Ndadesem, how are you?
Good self, and how are you, my man?
I'm well. Maybe if you can just tell us a bit about yourself, what you do in the community, and how long have you been in the area?
Okay, I've been in this area for 6 years now, and then my role in this is just to make sure that all my neighbors, including my family, they are safe. Yes.
Wena personally, how has the issue of the illegal land grabbing affected you personally?
Okay, for everybody to understand actually what affected me is that people, they have to understand we are one nation. We don't have any issues with anybody. We've got issues with the behavior. The behavior is the thing that makes us, that builds a two-way street between us and them. So the people, they have to understand we Lenasia South or Lenasia as a whole, we are not there's no land for sale. We've got houses for sale. So if a person wants to live in Lenasia, the houses are in for sale. The issue of people that are saying they are buying land, we are not supporting it because of, according to a live map, that land is a government land and it doesn't show any picture that states that it's a street or whatsoever. There's a reason for the government to leave that place like that, because of most of this place is a wetland. And if you look at the place, it's a place where you cannot even try to build a house because of coming during the floods. Then we're gonna be having issues because of, as I said, we are one nation. If there are issues whereby there is a heavy floods, we cannot turn a blind eye to fellow South Africans. We have to help them. But if they're gonna come from nowhere and try to build next to our houses, then it's affecting me because of, now the thing that is happening is that we see a lot of new faces every day, and some of those people that are unknown, they keep on walking in our street, they keep on jumping into our houses, they give our dogs poison, they break in things from our houses to build their houses in front of our houses. That's the thing that affects me.
And someone who's from the outside, they would look at it and say, someone who doesn't understand the dynamics of the community and they're not from here, they would look at it and say, is it a racial issue? Is it an example of what happened in Phoenix? Is it blacks against Indians? What would you say to someone who has that thought?
I would say that person, he has to learn his or her history, because of South Africa doesn't show any racial issues. We as people, we thinking negatively, then we taking the racial issue and make it a shield, just to get advantage on some of the things. I'm a black person. I'm staying in Lenasia. I'm staying with Indians. We've got coloreds. We've got all people around, and we are a very strong community. So there's no racial issue that is happening in Lenasia.
For you, what would be the ultimate solution? When you guys wake up, you've spoken to the relevant parties and they've come and said, we will assist you. What would you like that assistance to come in a form of?
Constitution, it's binding us in things, because of, for us to raise an alarm or to raise our voices, it's not all about to fight people. We are not here as CPFs, we are here to correct, because of the correction that we are trying to show people is that you cannot build here because of, there's a reason why there's no house here. So we have intervened. We have called a lot of authorities like JMPDs and our local mayors and all the leaders. So they have tried their best. So it seems like that now we need to escalate from that level to the other level, because of, we want to show people that we know we are the people and we can fix this, but we don't want to fix this out of war. We don't want war. We want this thing to be fixed, under freedom constitution, because of, it's not going to give us any fruits if we are going to fight. People, they have to learn. For us to correct, each one teach one.
Thank you so much. The message that I'm getting from two of the people that I've been talking to is they want to protect their community. They have a problem with elements coming in and out of a community that they've known and loved for so long, and it's disheartening for them to see it having these drastic changes that is currently going under. But we're going to continue getting the different thoughts and feelings of the different community members from Lenasia South Extension 2. Right now I'll be speaking to Leveshni Kolanda also. Hi, how are you? Yeah, so you took me for a drive around. You've shown me the different parts, exits and entrances of Lenasia.
All of our exits and entrances are basically closed off. If there is a service delivery protest, we gridlocked. So there's no way of us getting in and out when that takes place.
And you're part of the community policing forum. Can you maybe, if you can maybe just explain a bit how the illegal land invasions have contributed to the crime stats of the area? If you have an idea, maybe you can share that with us.
Yes, so our utilities, the is, you know, that means our water, our lights, those things are being used by the invaders, the illegal settlement.
And have you guys seen actual physical proof that's happening?
When we started the patrol, which was this year, we done walkabouts, and as we walked around, we found like thin wires attached to the boxes outside these residential houses, and we had to just like disconnect it. But yeah, so that has been increased a lot.
And the issue of actual crime, people's houses being invaded.
The crime rate has really spiked. We've got a local security company that assists us, and we're trying to get more residents to sort of, partake with him, so that there's a wider space for him and his guards to patrol the area. And that would take off some of the load from the CPF members.
As someone who's stayed here for a very long time, also, I've seen a pattern as we've walked in. There are a lot of for sale signs. People are selling their houses. Would you say this is maybe attributed to the mushrooming of these illegal settlements?
Yes, no one wants to live in an unsafe environment, and for me, this is unsafe. But the residents currently are in a catch-22 situation because they're not going to get the value of their premises, but they also cannot take the crime. So it's safety or money, and they're stuck in between that. So we're stuck, basically.
And maybe if you can share with our viewers, there's some of the efforts that you guys have made trying to chat to relevant authorities, council, and so some of the responses that you've gotten from there.
So for me, in my opinion, the government and associates have turned a blind eye to this situation with different ears. So they don't listen, or they try to listen, but there's nothing being done. There's no action. So they can tell me, okay, there's red tape, but we are going to go through a process, but nothing's been done. And this has been happening from 2015. We've been sitting with the situation. So yeah.
And personally, what's inside of you? What's that message that you want to get out there, to any person of power, someone who has the relevant resources and strength to change the situation for you guys? If you would say anything to that person, what would it be?
Firstly, we are law-abiding citizens that pay our taxes, and then we have all these increases coming in, and it puts an individual in a very tight monetary spot, a tight financial spot. So for me, I think if we can get rid of this or house these people elsewhere, in a decent environment where they're not encroaching in the residential areas and scaring people because our crime is high, then I think, that would work. But we've got no assistance.
And lastly, what do you think this has done to the moral and social fabric of the community as a whole?
personally, I won't let my child out in the street. You know, I don't think it's safe for kids. I don't think it's safe for females. And even if you're traveling alone, it's still not safe. So it's not safe for me. It's not a safe environment.
Does Lenasia Extension 2 still feel like home for you?
No, it's very alienated now. We've got new neighbors that now encroach on our space, and obviously it makes. We've now become we are CPF patrollers, and that wasn't even part of our daily tasks. Our daily life. We had other things to do, but now, protecting our community is the first thing now.
No, thank you so much. Really, really grim picture there being painted by the various residents of Lenasia Extension 2. I'm going to continue, try and get some thoughts, words from some of the residents. And now I'd like to speak to Nivi Luchina. He's also a young man who's staying here in Lenasia Extension 2. He also has, various concerns that he would like to raise, because as we've been hearing from them, the community just doesn't feel the same anymore, and they don't seem to be getting any kind of luck from the community councillor or from all the relevant parties. Okay, so I'm going to speak to a gentleman by the name of Jerry here. If you can just come a bit closer, sir. Hi, how are you, sir?
Well, and you?
Well, maybe if you can just share with me how long have you been here in Lenasia Extension 2?
Yeah, I've been here since 1993. That is, I think I'm about 28 years. Yeah, 28 years in this area.
And in those 28 years, you've seen everything that's been happening, for the past few years. Maybe if you can maybe just share with us also what you've been noticing with the various land invasions that have been happening, and how you feel it has affected the community.
Yeah, with the land invasions, it's caused me in particular to lead a frustrated life, because due to these land invasions, properties have lost value. Even my kids were insisting that we relocate, but now if we relocate, for how much am I going to sell my property? Because all properties here, those people who are living or those people who are selling their properties are selling at a loss, and they're selling out of fear and out of frustration. And we've been trying to engage with the human settlements, people in authority, and not getting any help. And it's been going on now for about 6 to 7 years. And now it's getting worse. Initially in the past, we used to have those boxes around here, because the actual post office is about 4 to 6 k's from us. So we had local post boxes. Those post boxes were vandalized, and the building is gone now. It's just an open field. So there's so much inconvenience. If you come into this area, most of the days, people coming from work, that is people who are using public transport, are being marked over there. That is why we volunteered to be on the CPF, to try and protect what belongs to us, to try and protect residents in the area.
What would you honestly like to see happen with all of these, invaded land? Would you like to see it being cleared out, and what then? Because it's also land. Someone might debate, those people also need a place to stay. But what's your wish? If
my wish is for the government, especially the human settlements department, to take us seriously, because they know about the situation, but they're simply ignoring us. I remember some years back, one of the ministers in the Department of Human Settlements did make an effort to remove all these illegal houses or buildings, but then he was removed from the department to another department, and everything just goes one way since then.
And excuse me. And lastly, would you see yourself relocating, or this is the situation that you guys are faced with, and you just have to stick it out and hope for the best?
Relocating for me would be, I'd be losing the investment that I made over the years. And staying here, we're always frustrated. We end up doing what you're doing to try and protect whatever is left of, the properties in this area. Because generally, there's no market value. All these houses here, all these buildings here are valueless. They're just valueless because of what is happening. And like I said, if the Human Settlements Department can take us seriously, try and tailor make the way in which people can be settled. We're not saying people shouldn't stay next to us, but the way it's happening, it's like it's just lawlessness, which does not sit well with most of us here.
If the mayor of the city is watching, or the minister of human settlements, if they are watching, or if they were here, what would you say to them?
Okay, my reason for mentioning the Department of Human Settlements is because we never got any joy from our councillor. We never got any joy from the mayor. I know there are people who were contacting him or phoning him, communicating with him for the whole of last week. And he made a promise. I think it was on a Thursday evening when we went down there to go and see what's going on. And somebody called him and he promised reinforcements and support to go and quell the situation. Up to now, he hasn't shown up. That is why I think, the Human Settlement Department from the national government should come in and try and help us. I know it's happening all over the country, but you cannot just sit back and watch when our lifetime investments, our life savings are going down the tubes.
No, thank you so much. That is, the common thread here. The people of Lenasia South, they feel like they've been forgotten. They feel like those that are in power are not taking their issues seriously. They are not asking for any kind of special treatment. They know and understand that this issue is happening all across South Africa, but now there are elements of lawlessness that have creeped into their suburb, and it's affecting the investments, as Jerry mentioned. It's affecting the moral and social fiber of their community as a whole. There are criminal elements that have came in, but I'm getting a message from a younger resident of Lenasia South, Nevi. Nevi, you're a young man yourself. How long have you been in the area?
I've been here for the past 18 years.
Past 18 years, and in those 18 years, how do you feel the community of Lenasia South, particularly Station 2, has changed?
Mainly safety wise, like when I just moved in here, by this time everyone's still out, like the kids in the area walking around playing. It's changed where you can't even let your kids out anymore. You can't even allow them to play because they're riding their bicycles, tomorrow it's stolen. So it's so dangerous now that you don't even want to take a walk to the shop anymore. You don't even want to send your kids to the shop anymore.
Would you say that was largely influenced by the invasion of some of the land that's around Lenasia South?
Most definitely. Since all the land, like the land grabbing started taking place, land invasion, etc., that's when the crime in the area started to pick up. Since we started our community patrolling, we try at our best to minimize that crime. We also have help from Presidential Protection. It's a local security company in our area. The guy's name is Brendan. He helps us a lot. But there's only so much you can do as a small area facing such large numbers of people stealing land.
And you've been here for 18 years, a young man yourself. Do you see yourself staying here for the feasible future, or you're looking into, I don't know, moving, relocating because of the many things and that are happening?
Before land invasion, I didn't ever see myself moving. I see myself growing old here. But after land invasion, it's basically on your mind every day about relocating, getting out of the area. But then another issue comes in: selling your house. Would you get that same value, or you just gonna have to take a loss? But I would love to still always live in the area, but due to land invasion, I don't see myself living here for a long time.
And if you can also send a message, you know, to anyone, any kind of authority that's in power, that is the, you know, the means to help you guys, what would you say to them?
I would ask them to come out and assist us because we've been running from councillors to JMPD. I mean, they come out, they show their faces for like 5-10 minutes. Nothing gets done. They building in front of JMPD being there. So my message is there's anyone with the power or the authority to come out and assist us and help us remove land grabbing, land invasion. Those people that's selling land, it's illegal. Get them behind bars. Get some type of restriction towards the land invasion. So we need help from any community member, someone in charge, someone in government to come out and assist us.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The pleas of help from the relevant authorities just keep on pouring in. I'm going to be speaking to another resident. Hi, how are you, sir?
Good day.
I'm great. Maybe if you can share with us your name and how long have you been in the area also?
My name is Logan Reddy. I've been in this area for the last 35 years. I think I'm one of the oldest residents in the area. And we come across quite a few issues in this area. And we used to be Lenasia South Action Committee that was disbanded because of poor community turnout and so forth. We got about 14 informal settlements surrounding Lenasia South, whether it's extension 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. It all started off on issues and levels. People are selling lands and making money out of it. The government is losing income. Electricity being connected, which is Eskom's problem. They're losing income. And it's millions of these going right through. And I know I worked in Randburg, I worked in various different areas. And this has been going throughout the north, south, east, west, whatever it is. And communications between the government and the residents and so forth is no action taken. We as community try and get involved with this thing, but we get shot at. We had a meeting in 2017. We got shot at by the SAPS and JMPD, and we got people wounded and we rushed to the hospitals. This one, the last 2 weeks, we had another protest march, okay, and JMPD came out here. They went down to this situation where they're meriting informal settlements, which is totally illegal, and we given them a border to stand by, which was from Enidale, the ward councillor, and they crossed that border. So people do not care what the law says. So they got no regard for the law at all. Okay, we as paying citizens, rate taxes and whatever it is, we can't seem to get any joy out of it. Live in this area here, behind high walls and so forth, for what? What is freedom? Freedom is supposed to walk freely, not looking over your back and over your shoulders, driving and so forth. I time this government come to understand, residents need freedom in their life. Okay, not to worry about the next person and so forth. I'm going to gripe with a gentleman living next to me, as long as he lives the decent way and so forth. Okay, whether it's black, pink, white, green, or whatever it is. We are so tired of this invasion of lands. Okay, it's getting out of hand at the moment. Surrounded by 14 informal settlements. When there's a strike and so forth, we cannot get out of this area. We just cannot.
Why do you think there's been a reluctancy from those with authority to come and assist you guys?
As you said, the fish head gets rotten from the top. Okay? It's corruption from the top to the bottom. Whether it's a councillor, minister, and so forth. You guys read the paper, you watch the news, watch this and so forth. As the president of the country mentioned, that he does not know how much money they lost. He cannot put a figure to it. Why? Because there's corruption in every corner. Municipalities are not run properly. Okay? You take a percentage of municipality, only 5% you might say it's running properly. Why is it? And it's all friends and family get jobs in certain areas, so they cannot perform. They don't know how to do their jobs. So I think they learn to do the job properly before they get into those positions.
The country is leading to the local elections right now in October. I'm sure there have been a lot of candidates that have met you guys and said we'll help you. What message would you like to send to someone who thinks they're a potential candidate to be a councillor of the area?
Okay, before the candidates would come forward to us and say they can do certain things for us, they must do it first before they can come to us and say they can do certain things. If we requested those lands to be demolished, they should be demolished before they can come to us and say vote for us. Okay, we requested boundary walls there, where the guys crossing the railway lines. Okay, for years we've been asking for those things. Nothing's been done about it. Okay, you get guys. I lost about 3 bins every Wednesday. They used to come here, steal the bins, and run across the railway lines. Okay, it costs me money. It costs the residents money to buy new bins. So this is what we say. People come into the land, come into the areas, and so forth. Okay, they use that as a ground to say, okay, let's go and steal from this area. Let's go and steal from that area. Why must we as paying residents suffer for this? So that's a bottom issue here. And Lenasia South has gone down the tubes at the moment. Okay, if you look from here, you look at the top of the mountain hill there. Okay, you can see that red light there. That's informal settlements growing up, like mushrooms.
I want to ask you the same question. I asked one of the residents here, Sammy. For someone who's on the outside, and they feel this might be a racial problem. This is another blacks versus Indians story. What would you say to someone with that kind of a thought?
This is not a racial problem. We as community here, we've got blacks living next to us, we've got Indians living here, colored living, and so forth. So we didn't make it a racial issue. We say, hey, that person is stealing land. It's people stealing land. Okay? If government allowed people to steal land, I can steal this land here and start building. Who's stopping me? So this is my house here. I'm going to steal this land.
So for you wouldn't say it's not racially motivated, nothing?
It's not at all. Because if I was saying, oh, that African chap there, he's stealing land, or that Indian chap there is stealing land, okay, that's racial. I said people. People steal land for their own greediness, and they're making money out of it.
For you, what would be the ultimate solution to all of this?
Okay, the government needs from the top stop this invasion of land and make sure they can stop it. You got the law enforcement people, they can't do nothing. We had people, the JMPD guys, they tell us point blank, okay, they cannot do anything about it. They're at the time. The moment they turn their back, the guys are doing this, come in the night and build. At night, you hear the guys are building back there. So people feel sorry for people that move in the winter, during winter, and when the Red Handers kick them out, we feel sorry for them. No, but they can move in during winter at night, stealing the land. So why should we feel sorry for them? Okay.
No, thank you so much. Really emotional there. One of the oldest residents of Lenasia South, basically lamenting what everyone that I've spoken to has been saying. This is not a racial issue. This is not an issue of discrimination or trying to point fingers at people. This is just an issue of illegal land invasions. People's property has been devalued. The amenities have been affected, and this all boils down to the councillors of the various areas where issues such as this are happening. The country on the 27th of October, if I'm not mistaken, will be leading to the local elections, and we'll be going around trying to hear grievances of people such as the people of Lenasia South, where they'll be telling us stories of how governance has let them down in the particular municipalities that they are in. But for now, from me and the rest of the team here in Lenasia South Station 2, it's goodbye.